Industry Illustrated. We are back in the building.
Back in the building.
Let me make sure I'm not back in the building.
Back.
The gentleman to my right is the one and only Monty Ross.
Yay!
Yay! I'm happy. I'm very happy that you
Two hand claps.
2 hand claps. I definitely want to thank Mr. Monty for coming through, dropping by, and doing this interview with me and with us, Industry Illustrated, everybody in the room. But let's just talk about who Mr. Monty Ross is, because I'm pretty sure some people are like, well, who is that?
Right.
So if you are familiar with Malcolm X, you're familiar with Crooklyn, Mo Better Blues, what's some more? Help me out.
School Days. Do the Right Thing. She's Gotta Have It. All those Michael Jordan, Spike Lee commercials.
That was you too?
The retro, the real.
Oh, we gotta talk. We definitely gonna talk. We gotta talk.
The real commercials that launched, like the Air Jordans. Yeah, I actually produced all of it.
Y'all heard that?
Yeah.
Y'all heard that? He is the co-producer with Spike Lee.
Spike Lee.
And you heard him
Right
just
hand
say,
man.
right hand man.
I mean, like, since college.
I know, Morehouse.
Yeah, I started at Morehouse, but I finished over at Clark Atlanta University. It's Clark Atlanta University now, but back then it was Clark College. Yeah.
So how did you let's just start from the beginning, because you've been with Spike since the beginning of his career.
Very beginning.
Very beginning of his career. So let's talk about that collaboration. Like when you were at Morehouse and you met Spike, how did the whole idea of coming together to make a film production or to make a production company period come about amongst you two?
First of all, we weren't even thinking about that stuff. Like, I was an actor, so my passion was acting. So I was always doing plays, and when I wasn't doing plays, I would go to class, that sort of thing. And then through a mutual friend, like Spike and I hooked up through a mutual friend named George Folks. Right? Okay. George had saw me in a play, and so he got to know me, so I got to know him, and then he introduced me to Spike. And then a lot of time passed, and then all of a sudden we started hanging out for just some real weird reason, you know. And Spike was really quiet back then. It's kind of hard to imagine, like, Spike Lee, the guy who's real talkative now. Spike was painfully shy. I mean, like, painfully shy, right? And so we started doing projects. And the next thing I know, you know, we were just doing projects, and we do one thing, I lead to the next, and lead to the next.
And that's what happened.
That's basically what happens. Now, like, as far as the response that you get to your project, the Spike started writing early. I was doing some of the acting early, you know, so we do small projects, whatever. But what we do, everything from beginning to posters, when it came to marketing and promotion, putting it out there. And so we took one film that we did, what was it, Black College to Town of the 10th was the name of the film, right? Mm-hmm. So we took it to Morehouse, screened it there. We went to Spelman, we screened it there. So we went to Morris Brown and screened it. We screened it at Clark. So we were always entrepreneurial. You know, we were always thinking like, okay, we have to do this ourselves. But what kept us motivated was we kept getting better and better responses to what we were doing. So those little seeds, you know, for us felt like, okay, maybe we could do something bigger.
Right.
So that's my comment today, because what I hear today is resistance to start something. Oh, I only got a few likes. Oh, I didn't really get the response I wanted. I don't know. And there's like this deep depression.
Right.
You got to brush that to the side, and you got to get started on your next one. Get started on your next one. And it's only then that people really see that you're serious about what you're doing and that you're really passionate. And then you learn how to actually stage a show. You learn how to become a filmmaker. You learn how to actually become a DJ. You learn how to be a graphic artist. I mean, just because you have the skill, that's one thing.
Right.
But you actually have to learn how to master it, so that when you and the audience get connected, and the next thing you know, they know you're on a real journey. They're like, oh man, you got the skills. And that's how it happens. Because people want that authenticity.
Right.
Are you really about what you say you're about? And the more you prove that, but you got to stay with it.
So is that what you and Spike did? It's just like, well, we're just
Hunger
going to
Times, yeah. We were hungry. We starved when we did She's Gotta Have It. Oh my God. I mean, it was like, I quit. And I think I quit about 3 jobs to go work with Spike. I was that passionate. 3 jobs. And the first wife, she was there and had 2 kids.
Wow.
So I had a really supportive woman. I mean, she screamed at me all the time. But I would work though.
Right.
I mean, literally, I worked. I had the wife. Wanted to be an actor. I was helping my man out, Spike. Right. So at night, I had a paper route.
Yeah.
I had 2 paper routes. Wall Street Journal and New York Times. You only supposed to have 1 route, right?
Right.
Not me. I had a Wall Street Journal, and then the New York Times was just like 7 buildings, and they were all connected downtown Atlanta. So I get my 7 papers, wop, 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 wop. Come home, drop that money, my pocket's jingling, drop it to, oh girl, straight for a couple of weeks, right? And then go out and then find acting gigs.
Right. So let's talk about that. Like you started off as an actor.
Started off as an actor.
Then you moved over to producing.
Right.
What made you want to make that transition?
I did Spike's thesis film. It's called Joe's Bed-Stuy Barbershop. So I was the lead actor. But I also had to end up doing all the production stuff behind the scenes too. I had to drive the van, I had to help load up the equipment, I had to help set up shots and things like that. Because his classmates were supposed to help out. They helped out for the first couple of days, and then it was just, maybe like 4 of us on crew, right? So that one won a Student Academy Award, right? And then we tried to do another film. We had Larry Fishburne in the movie, Kadeem Hardison was in the movie before they were big stars, right? Money ran out. And the producer basically was like, hey, look, I've raised like $15,000. I can't keep going in a hole. I'm going to go. So we had to pull the plug. Right? So before we pulled the plug, though, one of the production managers came over to Spike's apartment. And he wanted to know what Spike was actually going to do. Are you going to keep moving forward? You can't keep having these false promises or whatever. So then he stood up. Spike's about 5'7", on a good day, he's about 110. So he stands up, so my man stands up, right? Mm-hmm. So he stands up, he's about 6'1", 6'2", so, he's about 180, 190. I'm like, wait a minute, I said, hold. I said, it's like that? So as soon as he stood up, I stood up. I said, Spike, hold my glasses, man. It's about to go down.
Right.
So the dude was like, oh no, Spike, call your man, he's getting ready. I said, no, look. First of all, we're going to talk about this matter, right? And you're going to treat Spike with respect. You're going to sit down and we're going to handle it like men. Now, if you want to go down, go outside. Just go outside right now. There's the alley, and we'll settle this. So he left. Oh man, I don't know if I have to be in this environment. I said, no, you don't have to be in that environment, my man. But you're not going to stand up and disrespect Spike. He's tried to raise the money for the project, whatever. That's just how it goes, right? So I told Spike after that, I said, look, I have some experience doing plays, which I did, and I can be I was a production manager doing plays. Let me be your production manager for She's Gotta Have It. And at the time, he didn't even have the script. So they said, okay. So I put my foot in my mouth right there. Because I said, let me be that person. And he said, bet. So now I had to really learn how to,
be that person, right?
So I had my own learning curve. So when the script was written, it was 85 pages, and eventually we kept asking everybody for money. Had a limited partnership, raise money. Nothing happened. Right? A couple of friends came over, gave Spike money, whatever. So the amount of money that we had, right?
Right.
I found a way to break it up, and I told Spike, that based on the budget that we have, I can get his movie made in 14 days. He wanted to get his movie made in 3 weeks. I said, I can't do it. I can do 14, but I can't do 3. So I went to sleep. Because I didn't want to hear what he had to say, you know. So like that character, Morris Blackman, that keeps repeating things, that's really Spike. He'll like, so I was sleeping and then I feel like this presence like hanging over me, hovering. And it's Spike. We can get the film made in 14 days. I said, yeah, you know, we're going to have some concessions though, man. We're going to have to figure out creatively not how to do it like a regular film, but if we do it like something that's independent, something that's, you know, something that's cool and hip, I think we can get it made.
Right.
In 14 days, right? So that's why the characters talk directly to the camera. That's why we shot on stoops. And if you really look at the film, you're like, okay, this is different. But what ended up happening was, by not shooting it as a regular type of movie and shooting it very creatively, it became its own film. So when we released it, everybody was like, yo, that's different. Fresh images.
And this is a black and white film, by the way.
Black and white film, no stars. So when we finished the movie, it grossed about $7 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So the first time in my life actually seeing, like the first 3 weeks, we grossed like $3 million. So we had one guy who was keeping tabs on all this, so he showed us how the movie made $3 million in about 3 weeks.
Wow.
And then eventually the movie made about 7, and it helped launch our careers.
Right, that had to be the start of your career.
Yeah. But I didn't know what to do. Because like I thought like, okay, Spike has this movie, he grossed $7 million, you know, okay, cool. I'll just go back to Atlanta and look for movie roles. And I told him that. And he's like, cursed me out.
I would have too. What?
No man, it was you. I wouldn't even be here. So I got a VP role, Vice President of Production, that sort of thing. And we had this beautiful office, man, downtown Brooklyn, right? So it was 4 people in the office. We didn't even know how to be a production office. Because before we was hustling.
Right.
You know, not negatively hustling.
Right, of course, yeah.
So then I said, I got to figure out how to work with Spike as this professional filmmaker, the one that everybody sees as a celebrity. So I came up with a system. The same one he uses today, the exact same one.
And what's the system? Break it down.
So I had like 4 folders, right? 4 manila folders, right? Okay, invoices, yes or no decisions, and then the checks to be cut, and then invitations and various things. So I had those 4 folders, right? And I mean, just hand wrote the stuff on the folder. Then I put them on his desk, right? Put a stack on his desk. So he would come in, he was working on the script as he was like working on school days. He'd come in, look at the folders, go through them each, put his little marks on them, yes, no, boom, and he put them back on my desk. And the next thing you know, that was like the system. 30-some years later,
He still uses that system.
still uses the system. And it was simple, but it was the best relationship that I could have with him. Because he wasn't a talker, he didn't want to know about projections. He didn't want to know any of the details and stuff, just get it done. But me, I had to know all that stuff. I had crews to book, I had payroll to meet every week. Then we started a store. So now we had inventory, we had employees, and we started buying real estate, man. Sometimes we would hold a block party. We shut the whole neighborhood down in Brooklyn. Where we were. Like, here's our office on DeKalb Avenue. We just like shut the whole. Shaq came through one time. I mean, it was just like, you name it. BET had this huge mobile truck. It's crazy. It used to be so crazy. We shut down DC once. We had a party at the post office in DC.
At the post office?
It was a huge post. It's a huge post. You know where like the train is right now in DC? Like that whole, it was a post office, right?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Man, yo, we shut that thing down. It was so many people in there. We was sitting there. We was sitting there like so afraid that something was about to happen. There was so many people in there, and the whole building was just boom, 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 and we was just like, yo. And we had to keep playing, and we had people at every door trying to barge in. Police was like, what the heck?
Right.
crazy, man. It was crazy time.
All started from the first movie.
All started from the first movie. All started from college, because it wasn't until junior year that Spike declared his major.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He had taken all his classes, and they said, hey, look, what are you you got a major, you got to take a major.
Wow.
Yeah. But you know who my buddies were?
Who?
All the people that Spike picked. Samuel L. Jackson, right? Sam was at Morehouse. He had just graduated. But he was hanging out over at Clark, because Clark had the theater department. So my buddy was Samuel L. Jackson and his wife. Well, at the time it wasn't his wife, but it was his girlfriend. That was LaTanya Richardson. They've been married like forever. It was also this guy, Kenny Leon. Kenny Leon just won a Tony Award for Raising in the Sun, directing, I think Denzel was in that one. And then, but Kenny had his girlfriend, she used to come up from Florida. That was Angela Bassett.
Wow. Do you hear this? Do you hear this? Like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and the guy who was in, who played Radio Raheem, Bill Nunn, that was another theater buddy. So, you know, being at the right place, the right time, people always ask, like, okay, am I in the right place, the right time? You never know, but if you're with a group of people and you're all, you know, seriously committed to pursuing your goals and dreams and aspirations, then you'd be surprised at like what happens. Because, you know, when I wasn't doing stuff with Spike, I was doing theater. That was my passion.
Right.
So, but I was hanging. Look who else
So
was
what
hanging
happened?
out
Like,
with.
did you even though you became the VP with Spike at Spike Productions and everything, did you decide to go back into acting around that time, or you just stayed focused completely on co-producing and making sure business was taken care of?
He was a star then. He was a star. Again, one of the things about Spike's career is that the reaction that Spike has gotten to his work. Like, that is something that I'm convinced. That's something that is just, you're born, that is supposed to happen to you and only you.
Right.
I mean, Tyler Perry, will his success ever be duplicated? No. House of Pain is up to 632 episodes. You got to think about that. That's in the history of television. Half hour. That's just a license to print money, right? So success, a lot of times with success, it's like people always think, well, like, am I ever going to be as big as Beyonce or blah, 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 blah. No, but here's the thing, whatever is for you, that's you. There's nobody who can do what you do. Nobody.
Right.
So you just keep doing what you do. Because you'd be surprised, like, people are clocking you, following you, and really trying to be like you. They like your style. Now, you may not have CNN calling you, you may not have, you may not have all the things that you really, really want to have. But you'd be surprised about who is really following you and who really digs you for you. So
Right.
don't try to be anybody else. Just stay in your lane and do you.
Indeed. Indeed.
Most people don't, though.
Message.
Maybe I should be like. And then,
Message.
And then you have people who, in certain camps always trying to tell people what to do, how to do it. Nah. If you are authentic at what you do, the way you do it, just keep doing that. But only 3 people are in the audience. So, you don't know who those 3 people are.
Right.
You don't know who those 3 people may know.
Right.
They may know the president of.
Well, let's talk about, let's go back into the movie era for a second.
Yeah.
Because what you and Spike did as far as black film
Right.
can never be duplicated. If tried to be duplicated, it would not work.
Well, those are Spike Lee films. Literally. Spike was not a fan of the 3-act structure. If you look at a Spike Lee film, those films, you're not going to find a film like a Hollywood movie. You're going to find a movie about scenes that Spike wanted to see. That's what Spike wanted to see. So he has an issue, he has a topic. So he has these index cards, and he writes down the scenes that he wants to see. Then he arranges those index cards, right, into some type of sequential order. Then he gets he gets a notebook paper, third grade notebook paper and a notebook, 3-ring binder, puts it all in there and sits down and hand writes the script.
Wow.
Hand write the entire script. And then they'll turn it over to a typist and they'll type the script and get it back. But it's all the scenes that he wants to see in a movie that he wants to see. So that's why the ending may not appear to be as locked as it should be, right? Because most of us have been trained by what? You know, you have a story read to you, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and
There's an end, right.
Right. But what if you're not that type of person? And Spike has always wanted to be agitated. I want you to think about what we're talking about.
Think about the message and the concept.
And then he was out. He said, I'm not trying to give you an answer. I'm just trying to present dialogue. I'm just trying to present the conflict. And then I'm out. That's my job. But if someone else tries to do it, you're going to say, oh, you're trying to be like Spike.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But that was him. So those are really Spike Lee films.
Well, how are y'all able to even put out movies like that? Like, now we can't even get a Do the Right Thing. You know what I mean? Like, now in this generation for us, I mean, help me out, y'all. Somebody. I mean, I don't know. Like, when it comes down to movies, like,
Well,
movies,
Dear White People.
okay.
The one that just came out most recently.
Yeah. But how many movies have we had since? You know what I mean? Or before, prior to Dear White People.
But the industry is not going to allow that kind of thing.
But how come
Because
it allowed you guys to be able to put something out like that, and now the industry won't allow
as I
this new generation or whatever's coming up and coming down?
different time, different era. Back then, it was all about the individual and your expression, because you had individual entrepreneurs themselves investing in the artists. Now you have what's called exponential growth. Exponential growth just simply means, well, if you have a product, you know, you should have 5 websites generating so many views, then you have your clothing line, then you have the, you know, so it's corporatized. That's very different. That's a very different model than an artist and an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur says, okay, man, you know, I made money fixing flat tires on cars better than anybody else. So I have some money to invest in your movie. Matter of fact, I know some other people who have money to invest to help you do distribution. That's a completely different scenario. Completely different. Because then you really want to help the artist develop and grow.
Right.
Today, nobody's interested in your growth and development. If you don't have today, if you don't have 100,000 views, 500,000 views, you know, 80,000 subscribers who annually check you out, nobody's even interested in you. They don't care how good you mix. They don't care how good you sound.
So, coming from an era where views really didn't matter at that time, it was about investors. How does that make you feel now, looking at how the industry has changed?
Well, it makes me feel like you really are not developing folks. Because what happens is you can get a hit, right? But then your second, third, and fourth doesn't work. And you're out. You're out the game. As Jay would say, you know, I'm not going to slip. One mess, right? And I'm out. That's old school. Because Jay came up in the old era. Jay does him.
Right.
Filmmakers used to do them back then, you know. It's just now, you know, you have to play, it's a different game. And people are really afraid to be themselves now. Because if they're themselves, then people are going to be like, you know, like the new guy who took over Lil Wayne's spot. Is that really him? Or is that like, well, you're going to be paid to be this way because there's a different agenda? Because you look at yourself one day and say, yo, I'm taking all this off and be true to who I am. I may only have 5 people out there who love me. Real talk. Ramen noodles. 99 cents. Those meals. Go to Wendy's. Let me get that slurp. Let me get that big out. Yo, man, we about to toss it up, man. We got the dippy stip. What's the dippy stip, man? You know when you go to like Chick-fil-A and you get the cookies, the warm cookies, them chocolate chip cookies. Then you get the parfait, get the dippy dip. Yo! You gotta understand. I mean, because everybody's gonna get offered a deal. Everybody. You keep going at this long enough, you're gonna get the deal. But they say there's a clause in there called, you know, you have to do what we say, or you're not gonna get this big money. What do? You gotta come home. You gotta floss. You gotta let everybody know you got the new sleeps. You gotta let everybody know you balling. You must.
Decision.
The real decision. Yeah. But we were able to get the movies out because our first movie made 7, so the industry needed us.
Right. But okay, so let's say if you was trying to
Think about it. We had Samuel L. Jackson. So you're gonna let Samuel L. Jackson loose in a Jungle Fever and play Gator. Bill Nye is gonna give you a different performance in Do the Right Thing with Radio Raheem. If I Love You. John Turturro. I mean, you're talking about Spike has so much to choose from in terms of actors who are going to support and love him. And then Spike wasn't conventional. Spike was not your director's director. He never tried to be. He was like, I need your improvisation. This is what I wrote, but I need you to take this and then embellish it. So he got those kind of actors.
Right.
Giancarlo Esposito, Danny Aiello. All those were trained actors from theater, so they could give you improvisation. That's the skill. We just needed a chance. So when we got the chance, the first one made 7 million. School Days made about 16 million. Do the Right Thing made about 30 million. Our grosses kept going up. And then when we did Do the Right Thing, it was such a cultural shock. Oh my God. New York Times for like 10 weeks in a row talking about, you know, what that film meant. And we went on to the next film, Jungle Fever. Hanging out with Stevie Wonder. So that's how we did it. Sometimes you take the budget. You don't get the budget that you want, but you get the budget. So you take it and you run with it.
So what do you feel like the industry nowadays lack versus what y'all had?
You guys are very successful. You guys are just too hard on yourselves.
And what do you mean?
You're too hard on yourselves. You got to think, and your competition is your peers. Your competition is 12 and 13-year-olds.
That is true.
They're emerging. I'm telling you, the 12, 13-year-olds, and then the 10-year-olds too. They're at home learning every single thing. I mean, they watch what you do. They have their own websites. My son is 12, be 13. He knows more about what I'm trying to do. He told me about Blackboard.
Right.
Literally.
And for those who do not know what Blackboard is, well, y'all should, but if you don't, it is homework or where all our work is stored as college students.
But he told me, we walking home, and he goes, Dad, you know you could get Blackboard. So when he said stuff like that, right, I have to stop. Where are you getting this information? Dad, you know, we have it in school, and you have all your homework on it, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, okay, I'm really, really behind here because he's catching up that fast. It's coming to them that fast. But I'm saying you guys are hard on yourselves. You guys can edit, do graphics. I mean, you can sit 10-minute period, you guys can do some of everything, right? But you don't really believe in what you're doing. That's a big difference. You think it's like, oh, man, I'm just one of the many. You don't see yourself as doing something that nobody else can do. It's only when you really, really believe in yourself. It's late at night, you're looking up at the ceiling, you know, like, yo, this is me against the world. You gotta get that deep. Ramen noodles.
Oh man, so let's talk about how you feel as a producer of the type of films that you and Spike created back then. How do you feel like the industry has changed as far as the movies that are being put out today?
People are afraid today. They're afraid.
Afraid of what?
losing a contract. They want to say something, right? But if the grosses aren't there, then they're not going to get their next gig.
Right.
They're not going to get, the great websites to tell them how wonderful they are, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's very important to you. Validation is very important from the industry. And people need that stuff.
Okay.
I know I have the worst Facebook page, website. I know all of that stuff. But for me, it's like I've tried to actually have all of that stuff. I've tried to actually keep up with all of that stuff and be hip and be cool and have all that, stuff that Ava DuVernay has. I've literally tried to do that. And every single time, it doesn't work. So that just tells me that that's not me. But to make a movie that you really believe in, like I said, you have to really be true to your heart, be true to what you're doing.
Right.
And then build. It may not happen in year 1, it may happen in year 5. But everything you did before then just taught you about how to get there. There is no failure. Everything is a lesson. Man, I shouldn't have put 3 up. Oh, man. That was the wrong color correction. I want to do that again. Oh, man, we should have got the... I told you not to get home and to do the sound mix. I told you. Why you get him?
Right.
And you paid? Oh, dude. No wonder that is not. He don't know nothing about how to really. Then the next time you get the right person, you see the response we got. Pictures up, opening credits, everything looking good. You see the response we getting? Please don't bring those whack people around no more. I'm begging you, man. Let's just raise money, get the right people to do the right job, and stop getting whack people to do whack stuff because you don't want to pay. What?
Right.
Let's go up, man. Let's go get something to eat. I love you. One.
You
So
gotta
let me
love
tell you
Mr.
something.
Monty.
So
Mr.
let
Monty
me
is
tell you
funny.
how I did East Coast, West Coast. That was really going down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Real deal, right? So I'm like, yo. So I get a call from a friend of mine, Jeffrey Garfield. Hey man, we need your production insurance. I said, okay. So I said, why do y'all need it? He said, because we do Wu-Tang videos. What? Jizza. I said, yeah. Jizza wants to direct. So I had a decision, right? Spike didn't want us to do no outside projects. Let me tell you how I did it. I paid for my man who loves to drive, right? I said, yo, take my credit card and go get a van. And then meet me here at 7 o'clock around the block. Yo, I said, Martin, shut up. Just go do what I told you to do, right? So, yo, Spike, man, I'll see you tomorrow, man. I'm out. Go around the block, bring the seat all the way back, and we go do the video shoots. So I'll be up all night. We did all of Liquid Swords. When his album came out, we did that all night. It was up all night, right? So then we got a call that Danny DeVito's wife wanted to do Sunset Park, right, with Federal Star and all those guys, and Onyx, they were in it, right? So Federal Star was in the movie, right? So Old Dirty Bastard comes outside. I want to talk to Suge Knight. Give me the phone, man. Somebody give me a phone. I want to talk to Suge Knight. So he called him. I'm standing right there, right? Suge, man, we family, man. This is the Wu, we family, man. I want to come out there with you, man. I want to sign with you. So Suge was like, man, just chill, man. Just settle down. Which let me know it really was no West Coast, East Coast real battle. It was all about how do we sell records.
Right, exactly.
I mean, people got hurt. People got killed. But it was, now that part of it, I don't even want to get into that. But I'm just saying, for that little brief moment, I'm listening to Suge tell, ODB, like, just chill, relax, man, and everything's going to be all right. And it was. But And I had the film. I had all the film from the videos. From liquor stores, I had all those videos, all that stuff. All those videos, you go on YouTube, you see all those videos. I had the film in the van. I could just started beef. Can't find the film. East Coast, West Coast. They never would have got to the lab. I just went home with the film. Yo, man, I need deck. I need money, man. What? I need my name in the press. But I wasn't like that. I was just like, yo, all right, man, let's go.
Right.
BET, MTV, they needed a product. So, see, I'm born. See, in that regard, as far as the industry stuff goes, I'm boring because I'm like, let's get it done.
I don't consider that boring at all.
Yeah.
I really don't.
See, my horror stories are work stories. Because like I said, I go to the office 6 o'clock in the morning. Martin taken care of, right? He takes the van, goes home with it. I go in the office, sleep. Spike come in. What's up, man? What you do last night? Oh man, Spike, he was wild, man. I was at the crib watching. What was on, y'all? What was on TV? Oh yeah, whatever. I was out, because I couldn't tell him. Because if I told him, he'd be like all upset.
Right. So did he ever find out? Oh, okay.
Until now, maybe
now, okay, now.
What you were doing videos, man? I didn't know that.
So what happened? Like, okay, so, Spike Lee went on, we know Spike Lee for now.
Oh yeah, the man,
Loving Basketball, Beautiful Wife.
About 36 films, yeah.
So what happened between you two?
I don't even know. I don't know.
That's the answer you're going to give me?
Yeah. Because this is my career. You can be so good at what you do, so good that people start to fear what you can do. But I never use it against people.
Right.
Like, I know some of everything. But there's no tabloid stories.
Right.
There's no books. There's no articles. Right? Where's the dirt? If I was that type of dude. However, because of who I am, right, then there's a point where things just break up. And when that day comes, again, you got to be ready to do what?
Keep working and move on.
I'm in new. You got to be ready to do you. So I'm here, right? I've been in this town for like 4 years. 4 years. This is the first time I've ever done an interview. I mean, I've done a couple of interviews, but this is the first time I've ever done something like that. I'm teaching now. I'm here at ODU. I'm having fun.
Yes, he's my professor, y'all.
I'm in class. I have a whole different style, right? They really upset with me. Like today, they was really upset with me. There was a few people really upset because I want structure. I said, go ahead and fight for your limitations. What you mean my limitation? I said, because the first thing is, it's all about your opinion. It's all about you expressing who you are. Oh, no. But I need structure. You need structure. You've been in college now for 4 years, and you need structure. Really? And you ready to graduate? Are you ready for the world? Because the world don't have structure. That person in the smallest college who doesn't have all this campus, a small college somewhere right now, when they hit the ground, when they graduate, they're going to the top. Because they don't believe in structure. They believe in getting the job done. And if the opportunity opens up, then you got to come with it. So I want you to come with full-color graphics. Yeah, why not? You should be able to mix music. It's a multimedia society right now. It's not no one-dimensional society. It's not a paper and pencil society. It's not. You got to be able to have it all. Your graphics, your hairstyle, your selfies. Just because you have a selfie, I mean, that's one thing. Boy, you can shoot your own portraits now. It's a whole, you have to do it yourself business.
Right.
So if you feel like you can't do your own 1 and 2, and that's the spirit of, right? It's the spirit of that. That's the thing that's missing. So that's what's missing. If you have all of that available to you, but you don't want to use it, or you want to subpar when you do use it, well, whose fault is that? That's not mine. I'm not giving you a structured environment. No, I'm giving you you. Give me you. Let's work with you. What do you think about it? I'm not asking you to give me a definition based on Webster. I'm not asking you for that. What's your definition? You have one. But why are you so afraid to bring it out? Because you're being criticized. And if you continue to be criticized, then you feel like I'm not good. Why do you feel that way? You gotta get past that. You can have the ugliest shot on the court. The ugliest, Shaq has the ugliest free throw shot ever. He has the ugliest free throw shot ever in the history of the NBA. The ugliest. The Shaq just bend your wrist. He refuses to bend his wrist because he feels like, no, man, I'm Shaq. I should be able to. No, Shaq. Bend your wrist. He hates that.
Right.
Don't tell me to bend my wrist. Don't tell me to bend. Shaq, you would have a greater percentage of free throws. That's not why I'm here, man. He believes in the Shaq theory. But he's got the worst and ugliest free throws ever. Ever. So you gotta believe in yourself.
Indeed.
I mean, till it hurts. It's kind of hard, right?
It is hard to accept a little bit, but it's the truth. And I feel like that's what our society, that's what our generation of students lack.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
You guys are great. You don't give yourself credit.
I feel like we don't
give yourself credit. You know what the real reason? The real reason why we don't have success a lot of times in the African American community? Because we always talk about what we don't have. You listen to any conversation. Al Sharpton, all of them, Jesse, Bill. Oh, this is what we don't have. Nobody ever says the year-end report about gross national product in the African American community. What was it? It's trillions of dollars. Right? So if you keep having the same negative conversation, no wonder you keep repeating the same negative things. Right? It's only when you begin to say, like, okay, how many students did pass with great grade point averages? How many? Historically black colleges. All colleges. All black college students. If you got together and said, this is how many people do pass. This is how many PhDs we do have. If you keep that message going every year, then everybody looks for what?
to pass.
Right, because something is happening, but you never document that. So you don't feel good about that. So you keep coming up with, what we don't have, what we don't have. Well, who taught you to think that way? Think about what you have, what you do. What do you do? Do something good. Think about it. You color coordinated right now with the grade. You had an event tonight. You guys are here. You know, you're talking about Valentine's Day, right? There's no script. It's all off the top, right?
Right.
So you have a sense of organization. So talk about those things. Adjectives to those things, not the negative.
Right.
You gotta reverse the thinking. Even if it is Al Sharpton, I'll tell Al Sharpton the same thing. Come on, dude, what? Why are you in Ferguson anyway? What part of the cut do you get? Why you show up all the time when something like this goes down? Why you and Jesse show up? Did the family call y'all? What? Let's talk about this. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The games that people, you gotta understand the elite. They gotta get their cut. That's how they make that money. Dang. You see what I'm saying? And then you repeat the same thing. So each generation repeats the same thing. Because you've been taught that.
So how do we knock that cycle? What do you feel like we have to do?
Think about Kim Kardashian for a minute. And their family. What do you hear a mom say? On all those shows, what does a mom always say? At the end of the day, we got a deal for you. all they talk about are deals. They talk about all that other stuff. But what are they really talking about? Deals. Ma Duke's got deals. Deals is going down. You're going to be on the cover of. Deals. And everybody mad. Kanye's there for a reason. Kanye's like, yo, I'm in this music business. Sometimes them checks don't flow right. Woo! I need to be around the deals. I need to invest. I got one on the way, yo. These deals. That's different. That's the things. These are the things we don't talk about. Like I really wish Tyler Perry would talk about his deals. He's put together some of the great deals. Now Medea and all that other stuff, that's not, But the deals, I really respect his business acumen. He has studios, he has people employed, but you don't see that.
Right.
The more you talk about that, now people begin to understand the business operation and how it runs. You see what I'm saying? It's the thinking. It's the approach. So I have a little legacy because of the way I thought way back in the day. This is the way we thought. These are the conversations that we had. So when you're with that select group of people and you all think in a positive way, and then you reinforce it over and over and over again, then it becomes a habit. You see? The more negative people that you're around, they're only going to bring you down. A negative person is only going to bring down the whole scenario. Why? Because they're jealous. They're jealous that they don't have what you have. But you naturally have what you have.
So let's
bring in the music like the.
So I have to ask you the question because I talked to Sorrel and I talked to John about it when we talked. But why did you decide to leave Hollywood, the industry, to teach?
Well, I really haven't left. I really haven't had my day in the sun as far as what I want to do, right? I just, real talk. Like right now, I could call up the producer of The Hunger Games, one of the biggest movies out in the last, couple of years, right?
Right.
You know why? Because John Killick worked on Do the Right Thing. I've been knowing John for like 25 years, right? John has a building. John bought a building, 5-story building, Lower Manhattan. I mean, he's got so many rooms in his place, right?
Right.
That kind of thing. So we talked about a project. But the guy we talked about is from here. And I wanted to use him because he's a young filmmaker. He's very promising. I like what he did. I like what he does with his short films, right? But I put together a concept. I sent it to John. He didn't like it. You know why I know he didn't like it? Because he didn't get back on the phone, right? And so that lets me know he really don't like my concept. So, but the fact that I get rejected, right, that doesn't stop me. What I'm trying to actually do is be more self-sufficient. I want to raise my own money outside of, deliver the product, and really find a niche. Find people who like to do what I want to do and want to distribute the kind of films that I want to make. That's very hard because people want their cut.
Right.
People want to be instant stars if they're associated with you. So it's harder, but I'm still trying. Believe me, I have like so many things I don't even talk about in terms of the project. But it's going to take a very special breed of person to come through. And when they do, and when those people actually come through and that money is there, and all of a sudden you start seeing this exponential growth, then it's going to be a whole different thing. Oh, money, yo! Can I get the love now? I'm like, huh? No. Nothing negative, but I just remember when, I was really putting together my 1 and 2s, because all of this is a learning experience.
Right.
But it's where I need to be. Because right now, people are programming for you. Lou Gossett has a new television show, The Book of Negroes.
Right.
So you know what that's about. But in class, you already said, do we have to get another 12 years of slavery? But who's programming? Who's programming that? Think about it. The Birth of a Nation is 100 years old this year, that movie by D.W. Griffith. How are they showing their support for it? The branding is still the same. If I keep showing you the same type of movie over and over again, what am I actually doing? If I keep showing you historical documentations of slavery, what am I showing? If Steve Harvey even talks about it, what am I actually doing? I'm branding it. 12 years a slave, right? How many years? Think about it. Obama, 8 years. We got 4 more years. It's 12 years, right? 2016 is coming. 12 years a slave. 8 with Obama, and then now the other 4 years. So 2016 gives us another what? So 2020, right? 12 years a slave. Not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying, if you think about it, 12 years a slave means what? They're not going to put those numbers out there unless they mean something. Lou Gossett isn't going to do a thing called Book of Negroes, right? Why is he doing that? You're the new generation. Why aren't there more movies that inspire you?
Lesson. Y'all got an answer to that? I'm thinking it, right? I'm taking it all in like, wow.
It's not a game. My point is it's not a game. So you have to use your internet, you have to use your websites, you have to use your Instagram posts. You have to really encourage each other because that's where it really is. That's where it really starts. The resistance is when the numbers start to drop, then they will, elevate that. But the problem is it's still in celebration of D.W. Griffith and what he did as far as cinema. But then the racial tone that was set is still being used, right?
Right.
So why is it a person in Paris looks like the person in Georgia? The young man supposedly committed a crime with a young lady, right? Why does this dude look like the same guy in the United States? Why do they look like cousins? You can find that same brother in any American city, but why in Paris?
Good question. Good question.
Bring the music back. Bring the fight the power.
Man.
No, but I mean, this is all a part of it. I mean, it's like the thing about me is that, like I said, I think that the real deal was I wanted to make a movie, and that movie became Girl 6.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, I actually went out and shot another movie called 1-900 Date Lucy. It was a nice short film. And I was just told that, somebody else was going to develop the film. It was my film. So I took a leave of absence. I was on. Then I went and did this movie on Adam Clayton Powell Jr. It was like, there's only been 2 congressmen in Harlem, Charlie Rangel and Adam Clayton Powell. So Adam Clayton Powell, if you Google him, he's like one of the foremost leaders, who really put King into place, people like that. But he just never got any credit for it. Marcus Garvey, all those people. So he was way back then, he was one of those kind of leaders, right? So that's what I did. I was in LA and I did 2 documentaries. I did one with Malcolm Jamal Warner, he was the host. I did one with Nia Long, that kind of thing. Then I came back, I worked with Spike again. I did Inside Man, helped him with that.
So you and Spike's relationship is still cool though, right?
It's cool, it's civil. I don't know what I did. That's the thing. Because I'm not a celebrity. I guess, now if I had like a big crib down here in Virginia, right, and I had all of the amenities that go along with that, right, and you should have those things if you want those things.
Right.
I'm just not that type of person. And I think that some of the things about celebrity is that if we all are rolling, then you're supposed to be rolling too. And if you're not, if that's not your pedigree, then it's like you can't really hang with us. But I'm like, okay, I could really blow up the spot. I really could blow up the spot. I'm not to be messed with when it comes to friendship. I mean, I could really blow Spike up, like, in a major way. I could, but I don't do that. That's not the type of person I am. Maybe you should. Nah. I don't give people the satisfaction of that.
Right.
And I look at it like the experience that I learned, the experience that I gained by doing all of that work with him, that is my reward. If he can't really come to me and talk to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're used to his friends. I have so many letters. Spike used to write me a letter a week. A letter a week. I still have the letters. Right? It was that kind of bond, right?
Right.
But if it's not that way today, I can't really, because what it is, people need their validation. I don't need Michael Jordan to validate me. I don't need front seats at the Knicks. Because the Knicks are horrible. I don't need that. I don't need to be next to Jay-Z, Beyonce, y'all. I'd rather be in the party by my lonesome. Wow. Yo, toss it up, yo, you over here. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a good time in life. I don't want to be a celebrity. Because then you have to pay the cost for that. You can't really be at the party having it. Just in the corner, and you can't do that. Paparazzi, blah, blah, blah. You give up all of that stuff. I don't need that. Never have. Why? I want to own the party. I want to make sure that all the vendors are paid. It's a big difference. Again, and that's another thing. We always popping bottles and champagne. Do we own the party? Do we hire the marketing director, the event coordinator? Do we make sure the step and repeat banner is okay? Do we make sure all the flowers are okay? Do we make sure all the gift bags are okay? Do you write the check when it comes to the organization and having ownership of the party?
Right.
I know you got the Lear jet, the whips, got it back. But I'm talking about owning the 10-story building so that we all can have a floor. You got your floor. I can go up to the 10th floor. I can go to the 5th floor. What y'all doing in here? Oh man. We delivering products, man. We about to put something on the map for the real kids trying to do something. You see what I'm saying? That's a completely different conversation.
Do y'all have any questions for Mr. Monty? Are y'all just taking it all in, right?
I'm like eat plate right now.
You-
I'm ready for the drink though.
Yeah, y'all gotta get back to it.
Well, Mr. Monty, we definitely want to thank you for stopping by,
Appreciate it.
kicking it with us, talking with us.
Yeah. Many things, but the main thing is I think you guys are too hard on yourself. You need to slack up. And not because you need to slack up so that you can really begin to understand that you do make a contribution. If you're not making a list of what you did, then you don't know what you did. Because you did a whole lot today. Think about it. You had your social media. You had to make posts. You had to take pictures. Right? You had to stay in contact with people. You had to answer emails. Right? You talked to clients, potential clients. You staged an event. You were at an event. Right? And then you came here and worked. That's a lot that you did today. You did a lot. But if you don't go home and actually give yourself a pat on the back, then you're going to create this pattern. So your validation is not going to be there. Then what? You're going to feel bad. Oh, man. You're going to start tripping, and then the next thing you know, downhill, because you didn't give yourself a pat on the back about your accomplishments and what you did today. That way, when you put your head on the pillow and you go like, out, this music is in the background, you're like, yeah, John's in the hands. What? And then you wake up tomorrow and start all over again. But now you're empowered. The only reason why Oprah is super successful, the only reason why is because she always counts her blessings. Think about what she's done. And then she sets a new goal. And then you're into that path. And the next thing you know, you're like so successful and everybody wonders, how did you do it? And you give them the secret, they don't even care. They don't even want to know, that's not the secret. You're like, okay, hey. Whatever works for you, you out.
Well, we're going to talk more off air. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Mitch, this is good film for you?
I'm good.
All right, bet. So, in the Sheila Shetty Man, we in a building. Yeah. Had to check the time. John Phenomenon, we're going to pass it back to you, okay? And I guess you just going to rock out for the rest of the night. Can we get a little scratching? A little something? And the Sheila Shetty, Mr. Monty, thank you so much.
Not a problem,
Thank you so much.
And when I'm in town, I'm on station WO.
Hey! And the Sheila Shetty Man, we passing it over to John Phenomenon. Mitch in the building, John Ty in the building, Cyril in the building. And I guess we're just about to meditate on the lesson that we just received.